How are you today?
Good.
How are you today? I think they're good.
Well, I'm a bit tired.
Miriam's a bit in the middle. A little bit in the middle. A little bit tired. That's how Mummy feels as well. But that's okay because we're so pleased to be with you today, Babyccinos. We're excited, aren't we? We have got lots to do today, Babyccinos. And if you're joining us for the first time, you're so welcome. This is Miriam. I'm Becky. And on a Monday morning, what do we like to do?
I don't know.
We like to do some crafts and think about a Bible story. And today we're going to think about lots and lots of little Bible stories that are all part of one big one. Because this is... What's happening at the end of this week, Miriam?
Oh, I don't know.
What's on Sunday? Is there something happening that we'll all celebrate?
Yes!
What will we celebrate on Sunday?
I think I can tell you.
What is it?
It is...
Something where we might get chocolate.
Easter!
It's Easter on Sunday, and what we're going to do is we're going to take you through some stories that lead up to that. Now, Easter is a really super happy, exciting day.
Yeah, because I get more chocolate.
But before that, well, and it's also because we think about Jesus, don't we?
Yeah.
Mostly it's about Jesus and about Jesus coming back to life. But that means we have to get to the point this week where we hear about Jesus dying, which is a sad story.
Yeah,
and through this week, there are lots of little
He
stories.
comes back to life.
He does, but don't give that away. That's next week. And next week we'll be with you for Babyccinos as a pre-recorded video where we'll do some Easter fun things. But for now, if we can, Babyccinos this week, we're looking at Palm Sunday and Holy Week.
Palm Sunday was last
Palm Sunday was yesterday, and we're going to tell you a bit about that story. If you joined us for Family Friendly Worship, you might know a little bit of that story already. And then we're going to look at some of the things that we're asked to reflect on and think about during Holy Week. So between Palm Sunday and... I don't know if Nanny's watching. I'm not sure. Should we tell everyone what we're doing?
Yeah.
So let's let you see what we need. So hang on, you stay there. You stay there. I'm going to show you the things that we're going to need. So if I change our camera over. Oh. Where are we? Oh. For some reason it's not letting me put us on there as well. I think that's okay. Oh, one sec. That'll be why. There we go, we've changed it. So here's some of the things that we're going to need. So we've got some big A4 paper in different colours. And we've also got some beautiful little pieces of paper.
And this is my foot.
That is your foot. We're going to tell you about that in a little while. We've got some kitchen foil by Sainsbury's. Other brands are available. We've got some glue. We've said pencil. We're using a pen just so that you can see what we're doing because pencils end up a bit light. And what I didn't put on is you're going to need a black felt tip pen as well, but that's a bit of an optional one. Some scissors. And then we've got some brown paper that we're going to cut into a large strip, but you might prefer string because what we're going to do is we're going to make lots of little sets of hands like this that are going to have different symbols on them to take us through the stories of Holy Week. And we thought you could either put these on a long strip of paper as a poster, or you could make some bunting. So if you prefer to do it on string, you can. Sit up straight, please, you monkey. Nobody needs to see your bottom like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make lots of sets of hands, and that's going to help us to tell the stories of Holy Week. Now, the first thing then that we need to do is show you how we're going to make these little sets of hands. Now, we have got ahead of the game a bit. Are you stopping to put makeup on? Is that what's happening? Do you think we need to do that in the middle of Babyccinos? Right, okay. So we're going to make these sets of hands, but what we're going to do first is show you how we've done that. Now, we've cut a lot of ours out beforehand because you're going to need 6 sets of hands, okay? 6 sets of hands. And we thought you probably didn't want to see us cutting out 6 sets of hands. So we've got ahead of the game a little bit. That means that you might want to spend a bit of time pausing the video or coming back to it later so that you have enough time to do it. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask Miriam to pop her hand on here and we're going to show you how we did it. Can you remember how we did it, Miriam?
Yeah.
Do you want to show us then? Is it really the time to put makeup on in the middle of Babyccinos?
No.
Right, leave it there. Cheeky monkey. Executive Mim, she's also got her flip phone. Right, so what we did is I took Miriam's hand, this hand, we chose her left hand, and what we've got is we've got a piece of paper folded in half that's big enough for her hand to fit on this half. So what we're going to do is put Miriam's hand on there, but now, not like that. what we want to do is we want to line up Miriam's thumb where the crease is. So where there's a fold on the paper, that's where I put Miriam's thumb, okay? And then very carefully, we're going to draw around Miriam's hand.
Guys, I don't think this is really what it is.
You don't know what?
I don't really want to do this.
Oh, well, I do. Are you going to help me with some gluing and sticking and things?
Yeah, but I don't really want to do drawing well my hands.
Okay, well, the good news is I finished. So what you should have is a drawing around a hand like that. You could use grown-up hand or small person's hand. It doesn't matter.
Mama,
I'm going to cut around it. But we're going to make sure that this fold stays here because that's what joins the two hands. Yeah, you're right.
Mommy, at the other side, can I do your hand?
Well, you could do my hand, but I think it's better with yours because then they're all the same size. And also, I think it might be tricky to fit my hand on. I don't know. It might be okay. But I think because we've done all the others as yours.
What's doing here?
Well, I'm going to tell you about that in a bit.
That doesn't perfectly there.
So, we're starting with all these hands. Now, what we do need is...
Is a candle.
we didn't need a candle. I've got that because there's something round to draw around, and I'll tell you about that as we go along. You might be able to get something. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. So there we go. That's our pair of hands. Now, we're going to need 6 pairs of hands, and we've gone for a few different colours. Now, there are 3 pairs of hands that are about God and Jesus and their hands.
Jesus not even about in our hands.
So I've got 3 that match in there, and then it doesn't matter about your other ones, but you might want to have them matching. You could do this with white card or paper, and that would be fine. You might like to colour them in, you might like to just leave them white, but I'm just letting you know now that we've chosen 3 of the same colour that will be God and Jesus' hands, and then 3 in different colours. Hi.
All them together makes pink.
I'm going to put them like this. So what we're going to do is we've got all these pairs of hands, and what we're going to do is we're going to use these hands to tell the story of Palm Sunday and Holy Week. Now then, we'll start with Palm Sunday. It's like the palm of your hand as well, isn't it? So yesterday we were thinking about the story of Jesus coming into Jerusalem, and he was riding on a donkey, and the crowds were so happy to see him, and they lined the streets. They were up and down the whole street. Crowds is lots of groups of people, and they were saying, can you remember the funny word that they were saying, Miriam?
Hosanna.
Hosanna, Hosanna, which means sort of save us. We're so pleased you're here, Jesus. Come and save us. Where's my pen gone? Oh, here. And what they did for Holy Week, for Palm Sunday, I'm confused now, Mimsy, it's not good, is it?
Palm Sunday.
And on Palm Sunday, what they did was they were all the way down the street as Jesus came in on the donkey, and they were carrying palm branches, which is something that happens a lot in Jewish custom. But they were using these palm branches, they were waving them, and they were laying them on the road to say, here comes Jesus, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
Is Hosanna Jesus?
They were saying Hosanna about Jesus or to Jesus. It sort of means, it's a praise thing. It's sort of saying, yay, we're so glad you're here, but also save us, come and help us. It means all of those things, really. So we're going to draw, I've got a little piece of green paper here, and on the back of it, because I don't want you to see my bad drawing, I've drawn a palm leaf. Well, you could draw one too.
I don't know drawing.
Yeah. So we're going to draw some palm leaves. So while Miriam's drawing a palm leaf as well, I'm going to cut mine out.
Can I do it small?
If you like. You need to don't make it too small, because otherwise it'll be really difficult to cut out. So I'm going to cut mine out. And these are our first hands. So our first hands through Holy Week.
I'm not drawing that. I'm drawing a different thing.
Okay. The first hands through Holy Week, then, are hands which belong to people in the crowd.
Mum, can I say this one?
Okay. As Jesus came into Jerusalem. Okay. So I'm cutting out my palm leaf. Now you might remember that another thing that the people did was they put their cloaks on the floor. So you could even do a little cloak to go in as well.
Cloaks means clothes.
You're right, it was their sort of jackets, their outer garments.
So that's what we're doing yesterday.
That's what we did yesterday. So my palm leaf is coming together now. We're just going to keep on cutting out. And then, so our first pair of hands, remember, that's the pair of hands that remind us of the crowd in Jerusalem welcoming Jesus, being so excited to see Jesus. He'd finally come. And they were so excited because they believed that when Jesus came into Jerusalem, it was the time when he was going to sort of lead them in a bit of a almost like a fight, I suppose, really. He was going to make an end to some of the terrible things that were happening in Jerusalem, where people were being oppressed by the Roman rulers. So they were so excited that Jesus was coming. Everything was going to change, and they're not wrong. Everything did change, but not quite in the way they expected. So they were full of praise. They were full of excitement at Palm Sunday as Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the donkey.
Why have a little choir?
Right. So my first pair of hands.
Can you be quiet?
Well, I'm telling everyone what we're doing. My first pair of hands is going to have a palm leaf in the middle.
And then the second part of hands is going to be this.
Well, I'll tell you about the next pair of hands in just a second. There are
They're
lots
not
of
hands.
I didn't say pants. Did you think I said pants?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did. I don't know. I'm pretty tired. So I'm going to stick my palm leaf on here, and that's my first pair of hands for my hands through Holy Week. I said hands. My first pair of hands for hands through Holy Week. Now later, when I stick these onto, I'm going to use a big strip of brown paper. When I stick them on, I'm going to write a little bit about this so that I can remember.
I'm doing this down on top of.
And that's why I'm going to use these. Now, if you're making bunting, what you might like to do is just write a little bit of something along the finger, or you might like to mount this on a slightly bigger piece of paper, and you can just make a little note about the story that we're remembering there. Let's go on to the next one.
I'm going to do this.
So that's that one. That's the hands of the crowd on Palm Sunday. Now, in Holy Week, Jesus visited a friend's house, and he was having dinner there. And while he was having dinner there, somebody called Mary, who was one of the sisters who lived in the house. We've met Mary before, do you remember? She lives with her sister Martha and her brother Lazarus.
Oh, yeah. I know her because she had the baby in her tummy.
Oh, different Mary. That's Mary, the mother of Jesus. But this is Mary, who's the sister of Lazarus and Martha. And we've heard about them before because we've heard about Mary and Martha having Jesus around, and Martha being very busy in the kitchen and Mary being busy listening to Jesus. Well, Mary came to Jesus and in the middle of dinner, and she had brought with her the most expensive perfume that she could afford. She spent all her money. Yeah, this is one of the stories in Holy Week, one of the things that leads up to Jesus dying. So she brought with her this beautiful bottle of perfume. Now I've got this lovely purple patterned piece of paper, and I'm going to use this as my perfume bottle. You could think of something else. It was probably really like a clay jar. So I'm just going to draw a shape on the back of here.
This is a perfume bottle, and that's also
that's
perfume.
Lovely. So I'm going to do this. So she brought this perfume, this very expensive perfume. She'd spent so much money on it, and she brought it with her, and she poured it on Jesus' feet. Why did she pour it on Jesus' feet? Well, Mary, you see, she knows, doesn't she? She knows that Jesus is so precious. She knows that Jesus is God. It was also the sort of perfume that you might use when somebody had died. So she knew what was coming. And at the end of the week, that's what we're leading to, is Jesus dying on the cross. So I'm just going to draw the shape of a perfume bottle on here. And I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to remember these are the hands of Mary, who took Jesus' feet in her hands and poured the most expensive perfume on. We're told that she even dried his feet with her hair.
Her hair?
I know, these are strange things to do, except that it's really all because...
Wash it with her hair.
It is crazy. And do you know what, Miriam? The people that were at dinner, they thought it was crazy too, but do you know what? Mary just really wanted to show how much she loved Jesus. And we might think about how we can show that we love Jesus too. And if you're around on YouTube later, from about 4 p.m, we should have for you our family-friendly shorts, and we're going to think a bit about what it is to give things up for somebody.
That's the end!
So I'm going to put a perfume bottle on this one. And these are Mary's hands then, these hands through Holy Week. Our next pair of hands is Mary, who comes with her very expensive perfume to wash Jesus' feet in perfume, to say, I love you, Jesus, I love you so much, and I know how precious you are. So all my money spent on perfume is to show you that I know that you are so precious.
And that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing now. We're just remembering Mary's hands now. So this is the hands of Mary.
This is when it was Christmas.
Oh, that's beautiful, Mimsy. So here's our beautiful perfume bottle, and that's our second pair of hands. Right. Next pair of hands, we've got God's pair of hands. Because one of the things that, well, I'm going to need that a little bit later.
I'm going to put this on
in a minute. Well, can you maybe do that on a different one? Because I've got plans for these ones. Maybe. So what I'm going to do for this one is we've got God's hands now. Because another thing that we're asked to remember in Holy Week is that God, all right then, is that God made the whole world. Okay, and the thing is, we have to remember this in Holy Week because this is a whole story leading up to Jesus dying. I'm going to draw around a circle on a bit of blue piece of paper here, and I'm going to do the same on a green piece of paper. And this is going to be about God creating the world. So this is an important thing to remember in Holy Week because we have to remember that Jesus is God and how great God is. Because if we don't remember that, then when we get to Good Friday, which is when we think about Jesus dying, then it could just be that he was just, a good person, but an ordinary person. And actually we have to remember that Jesus is God. And so when he dies on Good Friday, it's not just a person dying, though that would be sad enough, but it's God dying too. And that's really important, God dying on the cross. Now, God the Father, as we know, brings Jesus back to life 3 days later. Beautiful. So, there is a good end to our story. But we have to remember the sad bits to get to the good bits. It's like you don't know if you're cold until you've been warm.
I'm really chilly.
You're chilly, are you? Well, you could put a jumper on, Boo. Right, so I've got a green circle and a blue circle now.
Take a picture of my
and what I'm going to do
of my foot.
is I'm just going to sort of chop into the green one a bit and stick it over. Now look, everybody knows I'm not going to be great at this.
Well, can I do that
but we'll sort of think. Let's have a little...
Can I do that too?
I'm going to just sort of cut something that maybe starts to look a little bit like the world. We'll stick some bits on like this.
Well, can I do that? Well, can I do that?
What do you want to do?
Do that.
Can you do the sticking for me?
Yeah, I can. Should I put some of that on now? Like now?
Yeah. I'm just going to cut out some blobs
that
look a little bit like...
What is that on for?
The world. You know what I mean, guys. Something that looks a little bit like the world. Let's put Australia down at the bottom, shall we, Mim?
Right.
Well, we don't want to miss Australia off, do we? So we're going to stick these bits on to make a little world. Do you want to come and do that for me?
Yeah.
If you stick those green bits on top of the blue, we're going to make a world. So as strange as it sounds, in Holy Week, when we're getting towards this story of Jesus dying, we remember that God created the world. Remember that Jesus is God. Jesus was there in the beginning, creating the world. And so we remember that Jesus is God. And that is really important, because otherwise the stories of Holy Week don't mean quite the same sort of thing. Well done, Mim. That's some great gluing. So that's our third pair of hands, isn't it? We're getting through it. Probably going to be a bit longer than half an hour today, folks, although that won't come as a surprise to some of you. We always try to fit things in, and it's always a little bit tight, isn't it? That's looking great, Mim. Yeah, it's looking fantastic. Let's put that last one on. Big one, isn't it? And once we've done that, we'll stick that into the middle of the hands.
What did that say?
Yeah, there we go. Stick that on. And then do you want to stick the world into the middle of God's hands? Or should we wiggle it around a bit so it's not overlapping, that's all? Otherwise it's looking fantastic, isn't it? I don't know, however you want to do it, really. Something like that. That's nice. So then we're going to stick our world into God's hands. So do you want to put some glue on the back of the blue bit, or are you going to put it on the hands? Yeah? That's great. That's looking really good, Mim. We'll put plenty of glue on there. That's quite a lot. There we go. So we'll stick the world on there, and then whose hands are these then, Mim? These are...
Jesus!
No, Jesus' hands, they're God's hands. So we've had the crowd's hands. We've had, yeah. We've had the crowd's hands. We've had Mary's hands. We've got God's hands. Now the next one is a pair of hands that belongs to a friend of Jesus called Judas, but he wasn't a great friend in the end. Judas betrays Jesus. The people who... Wait. Yeah, you can listen to me a second. I'm just going to get a piece off this, because otherwise I get a bit nervous. So we've got some foil, so you might want to take some foil, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do as I tell you this story. So Miriam, we're going to cut some round bits of foil, okay? Can you cut some round bits of foil? But just listen, when you're doing this, you have to be so careful of the edges, because they can be a little bit sharp.
Yeah, and
so
they
just
can
go
cut
gently.
your fingers off.
Well, they probably won't cut your fingers off, but they might cut your fingers and it might bleed a little bit. So just be really cautious and careful.
And
we're going to cut some round things. Because these are going to be some coins. We're going to cut some silver coins, okay? Because these hands belong to Judas, who was Jesus' friend. Do you want me to help you with that?
I was thinking.
You're just thinking, okay. These hands belong to Judas, who was Jesus' friend. But the people who didn't like Jesus came to Judas and said, if you will betray him, if you'll tell us where he is so that we can arrest him and take him away, we will give you 30 silver coins. So these are Judas's hands, and we remember with that Judas, who was Jesus' friend, sold him for 30 silver coins. I haven't got a cut on my hand, I've got a scar, I think. Shall I start cutting some for you? You can do some. Well, we need to just sort of crack on, don't we, Mim? Yeah, so we've cut some circles out of the foil. I wonder if, let me show you the best way of doing it. I think it might be to put a couple of pieces of foil on top of each other like this. Are you going to be ready with the glue in a second as well? Yeah. So we're probably not going to do 30 because that would be quite a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we might do some. Now, if you've got time, you could do these as beautiful embossed coins, couldn't you, if you used a bit of card underneath. If you cut a round bit of card and then some shapes on top of that that might make numbers, and then you could wrap them in foil.
That's crazy.
What's crazy?
That.
What about that? That's a coin, isn't it? Are you going to be ready to stick these on?
You
don't need to draw anything on the coin, but we do need to stick these coins onto the hands. Do you think you can help me with that?
It's
I'm just going to try and separate them, because the thing is, when you cut layers of foil together, they tend to start sticking. So can you start sticking these onto the hands, darling?
Mum,
we'll have the shiny side out.
Mum, can I just straight?
Well, I don't know. You could do it on one, but then I'm not sure how it will look.
Okay, because we can do it on all of them.
Should we start sticking... Well, I'm not sure about that. Should we start sticking them on the hands? Because these are the coins, then, that Judas got for betraying Jesus. All right, if you're going to do that, I'm going to start sticking some coins on, okay? So I'm going to start sticking some coins on. So these hands are Judas's hands. And it's a reminder...
I'm going to write my name because I wrote it.
Okay. It's a reminder that even Jesus' closest friends sometimes got it wrong. And it's the same is true for us. Sometimes we can get it wrong. Sometimes we can get it wrong. That's it, Mim. Should we stick that on?
Yeah, try stick.
Yeah. Sometimes we can get it wrong. Sometimes we're not always as good at following Jesus as we should be. And so Judas's hands are important to remember. We remember that one of Jesus' closest friends betrayed him for silver coins, which is a sad story. And Jesus must have felt so sad about it, do you think?
Yeah, he has.
Here we go. I had 2 coins together then. So we stick our coins on. Doesn't matter how many you've got, just a few coins.
Got this one.
Yeah, I'll stick that one on. They look great, Miriam. That's a good idea. You could decorate them to make them look a bit more coin-like. So here we go. We've got Judas's hands full of the silver that he got for betraying Jesus, for giving Jesus to the people who didn't like him. So there we go. We've got 4 pairs of hands sorted. Right, the next one is another pair of Jesus's hands. And this is Thursday. So we've had Sunday with the palms.
Thursday, that's when I'm going to be at school.
Okay, so we've had Palm Sunday with the palm leaf. We've had Monday, where Jesus' feet were anointed by Mary. We've had Tuesday, where we remembered about Jesus being God creating the world.
Yeah, that's when I'll be at school.
We've had Wednesday, where Judas received the money for betraying Jesus. And then we're up to we're up to Thursday, and we call Thursday in Holy Week Maundy Thursday. And it's when we remember that Jesus met with his friends for dinner. Now, before they ate dinner, he knelt down and washed their feet. So, because you've already used your foot, we'll do it again, shall we? we're going to put Miriam's foot up on here. You ready? Put. We're going to cut a foot out because this, for Thursday, we're going to remember about Jesus washing.
Not sure.
Not sure if you like it. It's a bit ticklish. All done. We're going to remember about Jesus washing his friends' feet. Now the thing is,
Mum, show us your feet.
well, I think my foot might look a bit big in your hand. Is all I was thinking. I don't mind doing my feet. Now the thing is, now Mim, what do you wear on your feet when you go down to the shops?
I wear socks.
And what do you wear over your socks?
Tights.
Do you wear shoes?
I wear shoes.
Well, Jesus' friends would have worn sandals. But the streets weren't clean like ours are, mostly. Jesus' friends wore sandals on roads that were so dusty, they were full of animal poo, all sorts of disgusting things. It was horrible. And so they were really, 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 really dirty. So usually you would have a servant ready to wash your feet when you came in for dinner. And instead, a servant is somebody who's there to sort of look after you. They generally don't get paid very much money. You don't speak to them. They're thought of as a little bit less than you are. They're there to serve you. And so what a surprise Jesus' friends must have had when instead of a servant kneeling down to wash their feet, it was Jesus, who was not only their friend, but who they knew was God. And he knelt down and he washed their feet, taking away all that muck and dust and dirt and weariness from the road. And Jesus went down and he said, because if you love me, you know that I'm here to serve you and that you will serve others. So we're going to cut out a foot shape and remember when Jesus knelt down to wash his friends' feet.
Come stop this now. Come stop this.
We've only got one set of hands left. So this is Maundy Thursday. After this, Jesus' friends, they sat down together to eat, and they had what we call the Last Supper together. And when they had the Last Supper, that's when Judas went out to betray them. But it's when also Jesus shared bread and wine with them and said, do this in remembrance of me, which if you've had Holy Communion before, you'll know is what we do to remember Jesus. And all sorts of things happened. And then after their meal, they went out, and Judas betrayed Jesus. And the soldiers came. And the soldiers came and they arrested Jesus. And they decided over the course of the day. I'm just chatting about something serious now. And they decided, this was on Thursday night into Friday morning, and all on Friday morning, Friday through the day, they decided that Jesus had to die, and they decided to crucify him. So these are Jesus' hands again. And we're going to take our foil again. Because we're going to do that when it's the song, do you think? I think we're going to do that when it's the song. We're going to take our foil again. Look, if you've got little fingers, it might be worth just leaving this to grown-ups to do, because it can be a little bit sharp. And I am going to just draw and get on the back of here. When they decided that Jesus would die, they crucified him, which meant putting him on a big cross. And using nails, they stuck him to the cross. And they put nails through Jesus' hands and through his feet. And what we're going to do then is put nails onto these hands to remind us we're going to put nails on these hands to remind us that Jesus died with nails in his hands.
On his hands and his feet.
Well, because on a cross they stretch your arms out really wide.
Yeah.
And to keep you there, they put nails all the way through your hands into the wood, which is a horrible way to die, isn't it?
Why?
And they hang you there, they leave you there. And it's hard to breathe, and it's a horrible way to die. And that's what Jesus did.
And it's hard to touch people.
These are the nails that went in Jesus' hands. So these are Jesus' hands now. I'm going to put these.
Yeah, but it's really hard. It's really hard to feel each other when we just sticked up the cross.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to feel anything. He died there, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks like this.
So this is the really sad part of
It looks like this when he
Holy
dies.
Week. This is the sad part of Holy Week, isn't it, Mim? Yeah. I think you probably look very sad. This is the really sad part of Holy Week, where Jesus, who was God,
Or that.
Jesus, who was so good, died on the cross. It's sad, isn't it, Mim? It's really sad, isn't it, Miriam?
Yeah, it is.
Really sad. Jesus died on the cross. Jesus died on the cross because...
Yeah, but I know about Jesus. He came back to life.
Well, that's the good news of Easter Sunday, isn't it? But we need to remember that the good news of Easter can only come with the sad news of Good Friday.
Because on Easter he comes back to life.
Exactly, and we're going to talk about that next week, aren't we? But it's really important that we remember some of these stories taking us through Holy Week.
But
that we remember...
Easter bag?
Oh, well, I'll talk about that in a little while. So it's really important that we remember these things that happened. So we started... All right, and just chat with people. So we're going to start with... We started with Sunday, didn't we? Where the crowds welcomed Jesus into Jerusalem and they were so excited and they were waving their palm crosses. We remember Mary, who used her super expensive perfume to show how precious Jesus was, because she knew that Jesus was God, who was there to create the world. Then we remember that Jesus' friend Judas betrayed him for money. And that's just like a reminder as well, isn't it? That sometimes, even though we want to follow Jesus, we can get things wrong. Then we remember that Jesus bent down and washed his disciples' feet, his friends' feet, even though that was a job of a servant. And then finally, he died on the cross. So these are our hands through Holy Week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so that takes us from Palm Sunday.
Because you don't know which one you've got.
That takes us from Sunday to Good Friday. We call it good because it's not a happy thing that Jesus died, but it is a good thing because it means that Jesus died for the things that we've done wrong rather than us being punished. And it also means that we know, because of Easter Sunday, that Jesus overcame death, so we live forever in heaven once we've died on earth. So that's it, taking us all the way through. Now, we don't have anything for Saturday because on Saturday we just wait. There's nothing on Saturday. That's when Jesus is buried. He's in a tomb.
But Mum, do we not do anything?
And so we don't. We just wait. Nothing happens on Easter Saturday. On Holy Saturday, sorry. We just wait. And then on Easter Sunday, well, then it gets really good. So join us for a pre-recorded Babyccinos next week, where we'll talk about Easter Sunday. We're going to take you all the way back to Palm Sunday now for our song. And if you joined us for family-friendly worship yesterday, you'll know that we sang Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. And so because Palm Sunday was only yesterday, we're going to sing Hosanna, Hosanna just now.
Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Lord, we lift up your name with hearts full of praise. Be exalted, O Lord my God. Hosanna in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to the King of Kings. Glory, glory, glory to the King of Kings. Lord, we lift up your name with hearts full of praise. Be exalted, O Lord my God. Glory to the King of Kings. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Lord, we lift up your name with hearts full of praise. Be exalted, O Lord my God. Hosanna in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to the King of Kings. Glory, glory, glory to the King of Kings. Lord, we lift up your name with hearts full of praise. Be exalted, O Lord my God. Glory to the King of Kings.
Absolutely, absolutely love that song. And even though we're coming into the sad parts of Holy Week now, it's good to remember that the crowd welcomed Jesus with hosannas at the beginning of the week on Palm Sunday, and that we should welcome Jesus too with excitement. So what we're going to do with our hands next is I'm going to take this big strip of paper and I'm going to stick them on in a row, and I'm going to just note down the different days and what happened. So something about the hands that these represent and what happened. So you might like a grown-up to help you with that, to write about the different days. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that in a little while. But we're going to sing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, are we?
Yeah, can we do it with this?
You're going to do it with the guitar, are you? Yeah. Right, we might just do the 2 verses. We'll do He's Got the Whole World in His Hands and He's Got everybody here.
And then after that.
And then I think we'll say goodbye because we've gone on a little bit later, haven't we? You ready? He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Beautiful song. Maybe we'll learn some chords ready for next time. Anyway, everybody, we hope that you're able to journey through Holy Week remembering some of the sad stories, so that when we get to Sunday and Babyccinos next Monday, we can be super fun and super excited and super happy because it'll be Easter. We'll remember Jesus coming back from the dead. Now,
Yes,
look.
I like Easter. Forget Easter eggs.
Also, mostly because of Jesus, yeah. Good. If you're around on this YouTube channel, you can find different reflections coming through the week, and you'll be able to find family-friendly shorts as well by 4 o'clock every day. So we can't wait to see you for Babyccinos again. We hope you have a really hopeful Easter, and we will speak to you all the other side. Should we say bye-bye, Babyccinos?
Bye,
Bye, Babyccinos!
Babyccinos!